Ponzi Scheme, the granddaddy of all scams, named after the original scammer himself, Charles Ponzi. This guy told people, hey, give me your money and in 90 days you'll double it. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't. Ponzi was literally just taking money from new investors to pay off the old ones. His business model was more like a revolving door of cash. At one point, Ponzi was raking in $250,000 a day. That's like making $3 million in today's money, but as with all good things, especially illegal ones, it crashed hard. Ponzi scammed people out of $15 million, was caught in 1920, and shipped back to Italy. He spent 14 years in prison, tried a few other shady ventures, and lived his last years in poverty in Brazil, dying penniless in 1949. Moral of the story, if someone promises you a get-rich-quick scheme, run the other way. Pyramid scheme. It's like a Ponzi scheme, but with friends. Or rather, people pretending to be your friends just to get you to join their scammy pyramid. Remember that time your high school friend from Facebook suddenly messaged you about this awesome business opportunity? Yeah, that's probably a pyramid scheme. One infamous example was Burn Lounge, an online music store in the 2000s. But the only people making real money were those recruiting others to sell, well, nothing much. The FTC swooped in, called it a scam, and slapped them with a $17 million refund order. The company founders were permanently banned from multi-level marketing, but no jail time here. Still, their reputation and careers went up in flames. So if anyone's ever offering you a business opportunity that sounds like you need to recruit your grandma, your dog, and your dentist, it's probably a pyramid. Bernie Madoff's fraud. Bernie Madoff, the Michelangelo of scams. If there was an award for biggest Ponzi scheme ever, he'd take the cake with his $65 billion scam. Yeah, that's billion with a B. Madoff made a career out of making rich people even richer. Well, at least on paper. Turns out his secret investment strategy was just moving money around like a bad game of Monopoly. When the economy tanked in 2008, it all came crashing down, and Madoff had no choice but to confess. The man got 150 years in prison, which I think we can all agree is a long time to think about how not to scam people. Fun fact, even his own family didn't know. That Thanksgiving dinner must have been awkward. In the end, investors got back around $14 billion out of the $65 billion lost, and Madoff passed away in prison in 2021. Fake charity scam. Nothing says evil quite like scamming people out of their hard-earned cash in the name of charity. One of the worst offenders? Cancer Fund of America. Now you'd think, oh, they're helping cancer patients, right? Wrong. They were helping themselves to lavish vacations, cars, and yachts, while giving less than 5% to actual cancer research. The FTC finally said, enough is enough, and shut them down in 2015. The kicker? They had scammed $187 million over the years. CEO James Reynolds Sr. didn't face jail time, but he was banned from running charities ever again. So next time you're feeling generous, make sure to check that the charity is legit and not run by someone planning their next tropical getaway. Investment fraud. Let's talk about Enron, the company that fooled everyone. At one point, Enron was this huge energy company that Fortune magazine called America's most innovative company for 6 years in a row. Wow, impressive, right? Except they weren't making money. They were just making stuff up. Yep, accounting fraud at its finest. When it all came crashing down in 2001, they took $74 billion of investors' money with them. CEO Jeffrey Skilling got 24 years in prison, though he was released in 2019. Kenneth Lay, the chairman, was convicted but died before sentencing. Their reputations were destroyed, and the company became the poster child for corporate greed and fraud. Mortgage fraud. Now remember the 2008 financial crisis? Of course you do. It's when everyone's houses started disappearing like magic. Well, one of the major players in that mess was Countrywide Financial, who thought it'd be a great idea to give out loans to people who, couldn't afford them. What could go wrong, right? They even faked loan documents to make it seem like people were qualified. Yeah, that didn't end well. The collapse helped spark the financial meltdown, and Bank of America, which bought Countrywide, had to pay $16.65 billion in fines. As for Angelo Mozillo, Countrywide's CEO, he didn't see jail time, but he had to fork out $67.5 million in penalties and was banned from working in finance again. He's still living a pretty comfortable retirement, though. Real estate investment scams scams. Speaking of real estate, scammers are out here selling houses that don't even exist. Take the Natalie Wood's Malibu mansion scam. Some con artists convinced rich folks they could buy the late actress's fancy mansion. But guess what? It wasn't for sale, and the buyers were left holding nothing but their checkbooks. Real estate scams are wild, and if someone's promising you a celebrity home for a steal, they might just be stealing your money. The scammers were eventually caught and sentenced to prison, but the victims were left with only empty promises and a lot of legal bills. Stock manipulation, scams, pump and dump. No, it's not a workout routine, it's a stock manipulation scam. Here's how it works. A scammer buys a bunch of cheap stock, hypes it up with lies like this company is the next Apple, and watches the stock price soar. Then they dump their shares at the top, making a ton of money while the poor suckers who bought in are left holding worthless stock. The most famous pump and dump king, Jordan Belfort, aka the Wolf of Wall Street. He scammed millions in the 90s before getting a nice 4-year vacation in federal prison. These days, Belfort's out, writing books and giving motivational speeches. Talk about a career pivot. Pyramid cryptocurrency scams. Welcome to the Wild West of scams, cryptocurrency. Enter OneCoin, a cryptocurrency that turned out to be a pyramid scheme. Founded by Ruja Ignatova, aka the Crypto Queen, OneCoin promised life-changing returns. But plot twist, it wasn't even a real cryptocurrency. Over $4.4 billion disappeared before Ignatova did, vanishing into thin air in 2017. She's still on the run, making her one of the most wanted scammers. A few of her associates were caught and charged, but the Crypto Queen herself, she's still out there somewhere, maybe on a yacht enjoying her ill-gotten gains. If that doesn't scream asterisk Netflix documentary asterisk, I don't know what does. Ponzi real estate schemes. And finally, let's wrap things up with a Ponzi scheme in real estate, because yes, scammers love real estate. Timothy Durham, CEO of Fair Finance, promised investors that their money would go toward real estate assets. But instead of buying property, Durham was buying yachts and luxury cars. In 2012, he was sentenced to 50 years for defrauding investors out of $200 million. He's currently serving time, with his luxury lifestyle now downgraded to prison food and a concrete bed. Not quite the high life anymore, huh? Well, that's a wrap on our wild ride through the world of financial scams. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Thanks for sticking around. And if you enjoyed this scam-busting adventure, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next episode. Stay smart, stay safe, and don't let anyone sell you a bridge unless it comes with a legitimate deed. See you in the next one.